everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here in Berlin studio and also to our viewers online. So welcome to our Asia Berlin community event. So it's part of the series with the Berlin Senate. And my name is Elena Volkova. I work for enpact, where we build programs for entrepreneurs and provide access to funding and network. And today's event is all about the community. So that is why we partnered with Innovation Network for Advanced Materials and TechCode. And it's all about how can we help the entrepreneurs to reach their next step. So we will offer advice, resources, connections, not only from the expert panelists, but also from the expertise here in the room and online. So you will hear from four really cool presenters who are trying to make a difference in healthcare, in agriculture, and sustainability. And so they will have a strategic ask at the end. So please, if you have a resource or connection, feel free to raise your hand. And also, if you're online, please share. Our colleague Alex from enpact is moderating the discussion online. And yeah, and then we will close with the networking reception and breakout rooms on Zoom. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And I'd like to welcome Till from TechCode, who is our host. And he's doing a lot of cool programs towards China. So please welcome Till.
Yeah, is that working? Yeah, very good. Thank you very much, Elena. Welcome everyone tonight it's a very historical moment actually for TechCode because it's the first offline event that we do. It's very exciting also for us, and thank you for also having the understanding that we have to have a little bit of a structure here and distancing and everything. But thank you first of all, and welcome everyone to this event. I want to talk a little bit. If you might want to put on my slides, yeah. Because a lot of times we host a lot of events. We work a lot with Startup Asia Berlin, and now it's Asia Berlin. We fly together to China. We did a lot of trips. But some of you might already know what TechCode is, but I still would like to give you a quick overview on, that's Elena, that's me. And this is TechCode, yeah. To give you a quick overview of what TechCode is about, we are a startup accelerator, and we have basically three things that we focus on. We have event co-working space like you see here. We have startups here now. Obviously, we are also impacted very heavily by Corona, and a lot of startups left, so not so many at the moment are here. But this is coming back quickly. And then the Global Unicorn Centers, where we help startups to access the Chinese market. We accompany them during their engagement with China. And then we're also recently working a lot of online and to have a platform where we do B2B tech marketing. This is where we're all located, all over the world. We're really focusing on new materials. That's why I'm also very happy that have INAM, have a closer connection with INAM now, and working together very closely helped us also a lot on our past competitions. This is here in Berlin. We are obviously located very centrally here in Berlin. And here you can see a couple of our startups that have been here, that are still here with us. This one you might know, Path to China, or Path to China series. So we have a lot of webinars that we do online, where we talk about China, where we have events. Normally we did all these events here in offline, but nowadays we're doing a lot of them actually online. And these are some of the startup pitch battles that we do. So something like this actually like is happening today. So I'm very excited also to see the startups here today. And we're doing also a lot of trips to China together with the startups. We also co-organized with Asia Berlin. We did the last time. I think you went with us also to Beijing or Shanghai, and we did a kind of a program there for you. So it's really, I think it's really interesting to see also this movement growing further and pushing really the awareness of startups. In the TechCode area, it's more China. It's really China-based, but it's really important to push towards Asia, and that's mainly what our work is about. And here you can see some of also political things we are doing. And some of our main partners, Zhongguo and Sun, so we help a lot. We are like the Berlin liaison office also for the Zhongguo and Sun, the kind of Silicon Valley of China, as you like. And there's also some of the companies that we are working with over there. And we work also with corporate companies. So Alibaba is working with it, or we help, for example, foreign companies in China, so German foreign companies, to do their innovation activities in China and reach out to startups, for example, in China. Thank you very much. If you want to know more about us, really, I think Meetup is the really best way to keep you updated on our programs, events, competitions, and so on. And I'm really looking forward to this. Really honored to have the first offline event together with Asia Berlin, together with enpact and INAM. So really looking forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Till. So thank you for hosting us in this beautiful space and being our partner. So now I'd like to welcome Dr. Rainer Seider, the head of unit for international cooperation from Berlin Senate and the initiator of Asia Berlin activities. Please join us.
So thank you very much, Elena. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, offline and online, I welcome you here on behalf of the Berlin Senate to our first hybrid event. And I'm very, very nervous also because it's really the first time that we are online with the audience all over the world and offline with a real physical audience in a room, which we did not experience for a long time. And thanks also to Elena, enpact, the team, and Martin, whose birthday we are celebrating today. So happy birthday, Martin. So we have the honor to be here. Thank you very much, Till, and to TechCode and the TechCode team. It's not just a very good space, it's very near to my home as well. So it's right in the center of the city. And I always like to come here. So I'm always your guest if you invite me. So I think it's a great opportunity to make here a bit of publicity also for our Asia Berlin activities. As Till already mentioned, we're doing lots of things together already, especially towards China, where we have an office in Beijing. And we are preparing now, of course, the Asia Berlin Summit, which is a very spectacular big event we will have in September. It will be a hybrid like this one. So it's this activity today is also a bit preparation for our hybrid activities in September, where we have also for the first time the former Asia Pacific Week, which of course was a pure offline event, now transformed to a hybrid event where we have a real public in the room, and we are very curious how it will work because it's very, very difficult. Our agency has 5 or 6 different tools to match to make it possible to have a real participation possibility offline, even with the online, even with workshops and other formats. So I'm very curious and of course looking forward to the event we will have in September. And one of the main topics of the event will be also pitching. And so that's the reason you are probably now already interested in the pitches that will follow these speeches here at the beginning, which is of course the main part of today's event. And I'm curious too, but we will have a pitching on 22nd of September as well during the summit. And the winner of the pitches today will have a ticket to the pitching in September for the Asia Berlin Summit, where all the activities will really concentrate in a big format in the location Spielfeld. So 21 to 27 September, you should have already online and offline prepared for and get into your schedule. And now it's my great honor to introduce to you the new designated ambassador of Sri Lanka to Germany. So I'm very honored. We already met on Friday to prepare this event today, and I'm very honored that I can ask now the ambassador of Sri Lanka to speak some words to you, because it's very important. The ambassadors of Asia in Berlin are, of course, our very strong partners here to address the activities to connect the startup ecosystems of Asia to Berlin, which is the main focus of what we're doing today and what we'll do during the summit. So I give now the floor to the ambassador of Sri Lanka to Berlin. Thank you very much, Excellency. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Anna Seider, for the introduction and for inviting me here today. It's a great honor for Sri Lanka to be present here today and to introduce our country a little bit. And my thanks to TechCode and also enpact for being a part of this invitation. So as you may have heard of Sri Lanka, we were known, or we still are perhaps known as the pearl in the Indian Ocean. It's a tiny little country below India. But I think Sri Lanka has had a very long history, over 4,000 years of recorded history. And when it goes back into in the last few centuries, we were also a very strategic location. And because of that, been a significant part of the ancient Silk Route. And I think we are in the modern day Silk Route as well, an important cog in that. Technology, again, has been very much evident in our historical sites. If you go back to 2,500 years ago, we've had a lot of technology which is still functioning today in our ancient cities. And most recently, we had a discovery, a very important scientific discovery of a bow and arrow technology being found, fossils of bows and arrows found, which are 48,000 years old, which is the oldest technology outside of Africa. So I think technology has been a part of our history, and it certainly is a part of our present and the future. Today we are, of course, struggling globally because of the COVID, but we have a strong startup ecosystem which the government itself is nurturing. Even during the pandemic, the startups actually very quickly rose up to the task and worked with the government, especially one startup called ODOC, which does video consultations. Everything was on lockdown, so they gave free video conferencing for doctors to talk to patients. We have a local version of a startup of Uber, which called PickMe, which quickly then tied up with the government supermarket chain to deliver food to the people. So our startups are very agile and are very innovative as well. We also developed a contact tracing app, which of course has not got rolled out yet, but it is there. And again, startups, I think in the 1980s were not perhaps called startups, but we have companies that have innovated. For example, the Sri Lankan bunch of young tech entrepreneurs at that time created a trading platform, and which today is the fastest trading platform in the world and is running in most of the stock exchanges, including London Stock Exchange, which finally bought the company. So we do have lots of examples. One more example, the middleware called WSO2. The middleware is again developed in Sri Lanka by a Sri Lankan. It's running in eBay, Uber, and so many other large search engines. So we do have an ecosystem, but it's not there yet. We want to actually invite the Berlin ecosystem here to look at Sri Lanka. I think we have talent, and also we have very good infrastructure that is there. And we are happy to work with you, understand, and help to develop our ecosystem as well. And the government is very strongly pushing technology as well within government, as well as to develop the industry. So tax is free for any tech company in Sri Lanka. It's a good reason to look at Sri Lanka as well. So I hope that we can continue this today being the start of it. We'll continue to have this partnership and collaboration. So thank you very much, and look forward to connecting with you later. Okay.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And our next partner is Antonia, Managing Director of INAM. She was key partner for us in referring two of really cool entrepreneurs who you will hear tonight. And yeah, please join us, Antonia. And the mic is there.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Antonia. So I'm the Managing Director of INAM. INAM stands for Innovation Network in Advanced Materials, which already gives you a clue of what we do. So we focus only on startups that work with new materials, innovative materials, hardware, basically anything you can touch and feel, such as the masks that Chris and I are wearing today that are made by the guys in Motorskins that you'll see in a second. But they don't usually make masks, so they'll tell you what they do. Yeah, and I don't want to keep you a lot longer than that. We work with startups. We also work with corporations, but also with universities, basically anyone with an interest in materials. So if you'd like to know more, I have some materials I can give you if I'm allowed by Corona rules. I'm not sure. Or you can come and ask me. Thanks a lot. We'll go into the startup pitches because that's the most exciting part. And I can talk to you later.
Thank you so much. All right. And just a quick intros of our expert panelists here. So we have Jag, Managing Director of Techstars Berlin. Do you want to say a quick word?
Hi, thank you for having me. I appreciate all the effort that's gone into this event. I'm Jag. I'm the Managing Director for Techstars. We're the global platform for investment and innovation. We were the first investors in Uber, ClassPass, so quite a few well-known names, but we're also we've been investors here in Berlin for about 5 years, and we've got some great portfolio companies. I'm just excited about the community, and I'm excited about being able to give back. As a former entrepreneur, as a founder, as a once not long ago founder, I loved events like these where you get the opportunity to engage with some interesting people. And today we definitely have some interesting people. So thank you for having me.
Jag also invested in Indian entrepreneurs and
That's right,
Malaysia
yes.
and Singapore as well.
That's right. Yes.
Cool. And Olga from Target.
Yes. Is it working? Yes. It is? Yeah, good. So thanks a lot for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm investor with Target Global, which is Berlin headquartered venture firm with 800 million euro under management. We are also located in Tel Aviv, London, Barcelona, and Moscow. Mostly we invest in Europe, but we do investments out of Europe as well. And our portfolio companies also expand to Asia. There are a few examples, including one Singapore-based company called Awesome, one company, payments company, which operates pretty much everywhere doing alternative payments, which is unicorn called Rapid. In Berlin ecosystem, we're investors with Wepox, Delivery Hero, Auto One, and Omio, Omnius, and a few other names. So yeah, we do pretty much everything between seed and actually Series C and sometimes even up. I mostly focus on early stage and mostly on fintech, but still can do pretty much everything in the range which I just mentioned. Within industries, it's fintech, marketplaces, software, and mobility, and marketplaces and software. It's like pretty much everything between, let's say, travel and cybersecurity. So yeah, pleasure to be here, and always pleasure to meet entrepreneurs and ecosystem members.
Thank you so much. And Aravinth, our Asia Berlin ambassador.
Yeah, so I think as an ambassador of Asia Berlin, is it okay? Yeah, I would love to welcome you all. Yeah, so since we don't shake hands, we have the tradition now, and thank you everyone for being here. So about myself, I've been a serial entrepreneur, and today I'm representing MotionLab.Berlin, which is also a partner in all these initiatives, which is a 4,500 square meter industrial facility in Berlin, providing a platform for entrepreneurs to go from idea to production with those industrial machines and expertise and training in one place. And currently we have more than 60 startups who are building human-sized products to different types of technology. So we majorly focus on mobility, but it's not the only focus here. So we also have one of the startup, Motorskins, is based in MotionLab. And happy to have you all here, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right. Our first brave startups is Motorskins. So Juan and Facundo.
So, hi all, it's an honor to be here. My name is Facundo, this is Juan. We are two of the co-founders of Motorskins. At Motorskins, we develop soft exoskeletons that help people walk. So, FOF. FOF is an acronym and it stands for fear of falling. And this is a condition that affects a lot of people, but mainly the elderly. And so we're gonna see it can have a huge impact on quality of life. And this is because the problem of movement in the elderly is a complex one that has a physical component characterized by muscle weakness, which leads to poor knee control and insufficient bending. This means that statistically you have 50% more chances of falling. To prevent this, people rely on assistive technologies such as crutches and cane. But there is also the emotional aspect, and this is the social pressure with the idea of normal and the stigma of aging. This generally leads to a lack of movement, and a passive lifestyles only reinforce a negative loop that makes your legs weaker and weaker. This is a worldwide problem. In developed countries, almost 30% of the population is already over 65 years old, and this is a mega trend. By the year 2050, the numbers are going to be more than double. This is why we introduced our exomuscle. It is an active garment that works on external muscles that improve your gait by reducing the fear of falling and increasing your confidence while walking. On top of that, it is discreet, it is comfortable, and it's cheaper and has better autonomy than traditional exoskeletons. This is because we have no motors and hence no batteries. So how does it work? We can harvest the potential energy of each step, store it as elastic energy, and release it to produce a useful swelling. With this swelling, we produce soft muscles such as this one that we can use to move your limb. And the best thing is that we use digital fabrication for producing this. So we can easily tailor our technology to very specific needs.
Or go-to-market strategy. Sorry, this is a huge market and is increasing per year 7.9% around the world. Our go-to-market strategy is starting as a lifestyle product to address no preclinical condition, a fear of falling in this case, where the user will pay directly for the device. And the long term, we want to certify ourselves as a medical device and be paid by the health insurance, especially here in Germany, but maybe in other countries as the UK. But we see a lot of potential to apply our technology to different fields. For example, in sports training and in logistics, we can apply our technology for people that is spending long periods of time. And also in gaming. We are developing 3 concepts to apply for these industries. There is one that is active massaging, and also we have an external muscle to assist movement, and haptics to get feedback by gaming. That could be used for virtual reality games, for example. We have an amazing team. I am Juan, I am the business part of the project. Facundo is an industrial designer with experience in medical devices. We have Jose, that he's an engineer and he's an expert in machines development. We have also Niels, that he's a biophysicist and he's bringing the expertise on soft robotics, and he's a great maker. And we are super happy because we are including right now our first female team member, that is Christina, that is a medical doctor. And we have also mentors and advisors from the field of product development, material science, and also startups. So we have been following this journey for the last 3 years, from our research project in the university to in the direction of a startup. And we last year and this year we raised close to 200,000 euros in grants and prizes, including the Exist Gründen Stipendium, that is a grant from the German state, and the Senate of Berlin as well. And we are looking forward to launch our product next year. We are looking for 800,000 euros to really scale up, go to market, and also we are looking for partners for research and product development. But as everyone here, we got affected for the pandemic, and we used that time to use our expertise and our time to mentoring and participate in hackathons around Europe and also in Latin America, where we come from. And we also use our technology and devices to produce masks that we ship and sell to 5 countries in Europe. Okay. And this is our network of support. We are based here in MotionLab, where we produce our small bunches of our prototypes, and we have the capability to produce in-house. As well, we are part of the network, INAM. Last year, we were competing in the ADMACOM, this competition, and we were winning 2 prizes from the 5 that were available. Not the first time, but. So we see ourselves in the future as a lab that mixes together soft robotics and human movement. So everything related with that we want to produce. And we are looking forward for the questions after. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Yes, of course.
Okay, so thank you so much. It was really brave. So, panelists start. Do you have any? So,
yeah.
When I spoke with Juan, so he's also looking for connections to suppliers in China, right? And also hospitals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what else are you looking for? An expert in VR or what?
So we are looking, we see why Asia. So we see a lot of potential to, first of all, build supply connections with suppliers, especially, for example, in China and India, that they produce big part of the textile supply for Europe. We are developing ourselves, our technology. That's why Jose, he's a chemical engineer, he's working also in that. And we see potentially not only in the supply, but also in applying our technology and bring products for elderly people there and for logistics and other applications, because we see as well that there is all the initiatives to bring technology for the supply chain, for example, in China, that to make a very robust technology, and we want to be part of that change as well.
Olga?
I have a few questions. So thanks a lot. It's very interesting, and actually maybe because of my age, I didn't know about this problem. With this regard, so obviously the world is aging, and this is very clear. But do the people who really have this problem and kind of your target audience, do they really know that there is the solution to it? Or it really takes the education from you as well?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That's actually very interesting because it's a product that right now doesn't have a direct competition, because what happens is a taboo, let's say, being old, at least in our society. So what's happening today is that there is a huge gap between very simple passive devices such as crutches and canes, or even compression socks, that in order not to feel your legs so tired, and the promise of exoskeletons as this science fiction machine that has been there as a research for a while, but is never hitting the market, and that's because they are intrinsically complex and expensive. So we think that there is a gap in there that we want to fill with a product that makes you feel better, gives you an extra push, but it's also cheap. In that regard, yes, we need to work a lot on the communication, and our strategy for walking that path is to start working with specialized stores like orthopedic workshops, where they have the clients, the channels, but also the trust of their clients. So we want to start next year's like selling through them, at least small quantities, to have like really the feedback from the users and the go-to-market strategy, and only then scale up.
And maybe also to complement, we are in the process of verifying our assumptions about the market. And that means we will have, at the end of this month, some workshop with users coming to test our device, and also to really understand if our assumption, and there is a lot of like, the problem is well documented, and the European Union is really willing to invest a lot of money in these solutions, but we still need to verify these assumptions. Nevertheless, as Facundo was saying, we are building cooperation with orthopedic workshop, Sanitat House here in Berlin, in Pankow, through the Hans-Berg-Kammer acceleration program that we are part as well, to maybe bring a joint venture and test with the users. The best way is try to sell it and see if it actually works. Yeah.
And then one more question. You said that it will be kind of cheap solution, and how expensive is it to produce, and what would be kind of suggested price? I mean, it's early, but still.
We are aiming a price of 250. And actually, most of the cost is R&D, because it's fabric. So we have very simple production and technology, let's say, and materials are very low. And this is actually very important for us because we're coming from South America, and there not necessarily all the things you need are covered by the health insurance, and we see that might be the case also in Asia. So it's important for us to come with a solution that is affordable, and it's not that health is only for the wealthy. So we want to keep it low as much as possible.
Thanks a lot.
So, despite my age, I'm actually aware of this, funnily enough. Yeah, thank you. I'm young enough. So earlier this year, I suffered a sports injury, a lower back injury, which means I'm constantly at fear of falling, because if I fall again, my lower back could be out of action for weeks, if not months. So, as someone who's spent a lot of time looking at solutions, can you walk me through a little bit more, in a bit more detail, about how your solution actually prevents that fear of falling, other than just giving me confidence that I have some sort of external muscle potentially protecting me? If you could just go into more detail about the product, I'd love to know that.
Yes, of course. Essentially what we do is we embed hydraulic circuits within the fabric.
Okay.
So what we can do is we can transfer the pressure from your heel strike upwards. And what we do with that is the interesting thing, because our expertise is in the design of the patterns and what they do. So as Juan was saying, with the applications, we have like three concepts. One is the lock. So what we can do is to help you lock your knee, for example, or your ankle. And the difference today is like mainly if you have the problem, probably you're using either a compression sock or a tape. And the problem with these devices, they are passive and they're all the time. So now imagine a compression sock that can dynamically perform again and again with your gait. So we see this option for massage application, for example, so improve blood circulation. So instead of having something, a not clever device that is all the time putting pressure on your leg, you can build something that cycles with you.
And maybe it's something really interesting, that it is the idea that we can produce these actuators, and one of the solutions is to assist the movement. So we use that energy to provide an extra push. So that means when you are walking, you feel an extra power. We are trying to make it really simple right now, avoiding the use of electronics. But if we include electronics in our device, it's actually quite powerful. The power that we can bring gating. Yeah.
You don't include electronics. Just keep it simple for now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the possibility, but we're trying to.
Cool. Okay, and then in terms of the customer segment, the users that you're going to have, what questions are you going to ask them when they come in for their interviews?
So the fear of falling, it's a really well documented problem, but we are not sure if the user is aware of they have this condition. What is happening normally is these people just stop going out. And normally when we pitch and we talk about people, they say, oh, my mother or my father have this condition, they just stop. Or even when some people young, they told us, when one of users told us that when he's going out, he likes to go out to dance, and he put his finger next to the wall to avoid falling. And this is something that we need to actually comprovate how aware they are in that sense, because it's this negative loop that they enter, and it became really negative for health. Yeah.
Sure, I can relate. So yeah. Okay.
And in that regard, well, we were planning to do early this year some first users workshops and trial. Of course, with the whole COVID situation, and especially tackling the elderly, that didn't work out. And end of this month, we are finally going to have a group visiting our workshop.
Yeah, we're also working a lot in our user approach. We were last month finishing an acceleration program with Google for Startups and Huge Thing in Poland. And we use a lot of that knowledge. That was like a complete month working in the user and trying to really define how we will communicate and how we really understand. Yeah.
Cool.
So I would like to call on Chao Wu to raise his hand. So you should definitely talk because Chao worked for a Chinese venture capital firm and also specializes in hardware and high tech. And I think there's some synergy there. And I also thanks for and also Tina and I. Go-to-market strategist for India. I know you're considering that as well. So don't be shy, people here, and also our online audience. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really great. So next up, we have Livia from Era Zero Waste. You got this. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. I'm Livia from Era Zero Waste. We're building the Amazon of package-free products. What if you no longer had any useless packaging? What if you never needed to take your trash out ever again? Not that I find that annoying, but the problem with single-use plastics isn't new. And it's not only an environmental problem, but it's also an economic opportunity. Around 80% of consumer goods costs is packaging. And most of it, as we know, ends up in the landfill. And everybody's worried about it. The German government and the EU already banned single-use plastics in loads of things, and that's growing. And the Generation Z and millennials, for them, sustainability is obviously a must. And I'm one of them. Actually, I wish I could change my whole life for sustainability. I worry a lot about it. But the reality is just that I don't. And most of people just won't. We all wish there were better options, products that worked, were convenient, and they were also good for the world. And that's what we're doing at Zero Waste Era. We have created a system for people to conveniently consume consumer products without disposable packaging. You just shop online and you get your Era products in reusable containers right at your doorstep. Just like Amazon, but with positive impact. And then we sterilize and reuse all returned packaging. And we're starting with, that's the wrong one. We're starting with 8 products in total, and we have 6 more ready to go. And they are, we can launch them 10 times faster because we use private labels, manufacturing, and also there's our smart labels. And we have a bold vision, and this is how we're going to get there. First, we're building our community by proving our concept. We proved our concept with our Zero Waste hand sanitizer here in Berlin, and we're building our community with a Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign. And after that, the second stage, we're going to put our products in our online shop and also at Zero Waste shops. And in the third place, we're going to connect 2 parts. And we're going to be able, for those Zero Waste shops that are purely offline, to reach where I cannot go just yet. And the market opportunity for this is huge. The personal care and beauty products are already big. And once you think about Zero Waste shops, this number already increased 10 times in the past 2 years. And so we are seeing a market opportunity of more than 200 billion of online unpacked products, which no one's doing it yet. And this is how we're going to make Zero Waste shopping convenient and scalable. And this, we're starting with the old milkman, then we go for garden compostable refill pouches. And once we reach a critical threshold in a city, it makes a lot of financial sense to also have mobile refilling stations. And that's what we have been doing for the past 3 months here in Berlin. To do our part during the pandemic, we launched the first zero-waste hand sanitizer in the world. And we only through word of mouth, because it's also forbidden to do any ads for this product, we went viral in France, and we got more than 1,000 orders. And it has been a really exciting journey to learn a lot. And overall, our customers, 80% of them referred ERA to their friends. And we did the customer satisfaction test, and 75% said they could no longer live without ERA products. So that's really exciting for us. And and that's also it's also not only interesting for the customers, but also financially. Working as a flat rate subscription, we can reach a 33% profit margin. And with our first first batch of products, we can save 10 tons of plastic waste. And yeah, so to have an idea, Biersdorf has a margin of 7. So it can be even sustainable. Yeah, that's sustainability. So I'm Livia. I have developed more than 200 personal care products and the digital strategy of billion-dollar consumer goods brands. With me on the team, there's Leo, who has more than 10 years of experience in sustainability, and Linda, who is leading our amazing experience and is also a packaging designer. We also have a team of 6 volunteers, which includes senior tech talents from Delivery Hero to the head of the Zero Waste NGO here in Berlin. And right until now, we have raised 56,000 euros plus 100 for revenue-based ads for our Kickstarter campaign. And we're willing to raise $1 million for a seed round in the end of the year. And yeah, support us on Kickstarter. If we have time, I'd love to show our video at the end. It's quite fun. And yeah, and help us make it easy for everyone to live zero waste and have an impact, because it's time to welcome the zero waste era.
Thank you so much, Livia. Very passionate. And Olga, yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for presentation. And I think it's like you're playing on a few important trends, right? So sustainability and no package, zero waste, and also sanitizer, which is obviously kind of the trend of 2020. We should add masks from previous pitch, and then we are all done. Yeah, actually, I have questions on the product and the business model itself, because I'm a bit confused. So what exactly the product is? If it's a package, what exactly do you deliver? A new package and you just take back the previous one, or you deliver kind of the refiller, which has plastic then anyway? Or what exactly is the product?
We have like 3 phases, as I mentioned. So we're starting with our own brand of products.
Okay.
So right now, we're selling a subscription of our refillable products.
Okay.
So people pay a fund. So we got inspired by the fund system, and you can buy refills, or can subscribe for a flat rate and get as much refills as you want. And in the future, then we're going to be a marketplace for the zero waste shops, and then we are like a normal two-sided marketplace.
But so just again, so you do refills, not like the boxes like on the picture, right?
Those are our packaging, and so they are, because we're starting with our own brand of products. Because they allow us to have enough profitability and create a brand and a community around it. We have something physical in everybody's homes, and people can remember it.
So just again, I'm really sorry for many and maybe stupid questions, but anyway, so first delivery comes like the package like this, and the next one will be just refillers, right?
Yeah, in the beginning,
Okay.
for the first stage, you can go there. We're doing the milkman model.
And then there's these refill packages, but they are also kind of plastic, no?
No, they are made of seaweed. So they are garden compostable, and you can go there. So there's no liquid refills right now for any products because, they all have microplastics. So this is the first solution.
And then it works like subscription. So once per month, you plan to deliver this like refills on the
as much as you need, you can ask as much as you need. And we have the plan is that you have 4 shipments per year that you can get for this flat rate.
And and in terms of distribution, you do it kind of your own DTC brand, or you also go like through other distribution channels, maybe like through Amazon as well or whatsoever. So how do you plan to?
No, we plan to just do our D2C brands and then put our products in the zero waste shops because they are going to be our partners so we can reach the marketplace stage. We have to, there's a lot of, we could go everywhere, but we have to choose a path.
Aravinth.
Cool.
Yeah, hi, Livia, good to see you. So I have 2 questions. So first of all, it's your own brand. So what is the ingredient of this brand? Is like most of the time people ask, is it organic, it's vegan, and what are those things? And second thing is your community cooperative model. Let's say that there are 16,000 islands in Indonesia, and then it would be nice to enable those individual communities to make a living out of it. And what is that, in that case, would you be shipping will you be making the production locally in Indonesia, or will it be everything is centralized from here shipped?
That's the whole idea. For now, we're doing our own brands in Denmark, and they also have a factory out in the US. So we can serve these 2 markets. But the moment that we digitalize the zero waste shops, then the point is that they are local shops, and we really want them to sell their own products that they source locally, and we just create a system that people can deliver and pick up and organize all this.
So it's kind of a franchise model you will have later that will enable the locals to locally produce and
it's a marketplace. They would be one of the shops that they sell, like on Amazon. You have like several bookshops, and that they also have their own products. In our case, the difference is that our products were going to be sold also in the zero waste shops. So unlike Amazon, we don't have to ship from a warehouse and from several places. We ship from our local supplier. That's the smart.
And the question about the ingredients of these products.
The ingredients, they are all natural. We're not going for 100% natural because it's more sustainable to have something that has a longer shelf life. So we're going for what's acceptable for European, which is a surface standard that's called EcoCert. So we're following that one.
So, Jag?
Yes.
So this is not a typical pitch competition. You need to offer also something. So, Livia, what do you need? What is your ask? Besides fundraiser,
I'm already a Kickstarter backer of your project, so.
Thanks. Everybody to go on Kickstarter and contribute. Also, we would love to. I know that in Asia, there's package-free shopping is something that is widely spread, and people do that offline. I would love to talk to more people that know more about this, learn from their experience, and potential, could be local partners. And also, right now we're focused on in Europe and the US. We do. I already said besides fundraising, of course we need money.
but also we have a journalist in the room, Benjamin. Wave your hand. So I know that Livia was looking to some connections to media. So talk to Benjamin after and
to spread the word about our Kickstarter campaign.
And go ahead, Jack.
Cool. So I love the progress that you're making. Totally agree with the comment about how this is product zeitgeist fit. Perfect. Tell me a little bit more about the pricing. How are you thinking about this pricing? Because why are you aiming at millennials and Gen Zs? Like, those people don't spend money. They're useless when it comes to. No, they really are. Like, I hate millennials. I'm a millennial, by the way.
But they hate all the big brands.
But they're not willing to
only
pay.
buy indie products, and especially the younger generation. We found that in our research.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, I'm only buying BO because my son doesn't let me buy something different." So they really influence the decision makers at their home.
But why not pitch it as a luxury, upscale kind of product?
Oh, it actually is a high-end product.
Perfect. So how are you thinking about that? Like, tell me a bit more.
Okay, so the pricing, people spend around 20 euros a month in cleaning and personal care. With this pricing, people would pay $8.50 a month. They would get 80% of what they need in personal care only. And they could get instant refills at their home. So people, the first sentence that I said, oh, what if you didn't have, do you want to carry your shampoo bottles, your toilet paper, your dishwasher liquids, your soap? That's stuff that you just want replenished. And why do you need a new package every time to throw it away? So it's really the convenience of the stuff that you don't need to think about buying. So you only think about buying what's really special to you that you like to choose.
Right.
They all, yeah.
Cool.
We also have a question in the audience.
Thanks. Can I ask you some questions around the materials you're using? You mentioned smart labels. I'm curious to know how you make those, and also the seaweed packaging, if you can talk about that. So
we are brands in our marketplace. So we're using partners, strategic partners for production, for technology. And the smart labels is a smart thing simply because of the 80% of the cost of packaging also includes the labeling. And we, in our proof of concept with the hand sanitizer, we just shipped and we didn't have a label, only had a QR code. And we said, let's see how many of those people check the QR code. And more than 50% check the QR code. And so we said, people are already used to see information about their product in a screen. So that's what we need. It's about information, getting information about their product.
So what is it? The QR code?
It's image recognition. It's smart labels. It's, the phone recognizes the image of the bottle and can tell information about that bottle.
So you need an app or something?
Yeah, you're going to need an app.
And
the seaweed packaging, it's a patent from an English startup, and we're working together to develop so it fits to our formulas.
Very cool. Any other advice, connections? Some? What's that?
we can maybe talk about the alternatives to seaweed.
Okay. Talk with Antonia after. Thank you so much, Livia.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right. Next. Thank you. So up next we have Subjavid with Smart Cloud. Oh, wait.
So, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Super. Good evening. My name is Suvrajit. I'm from Smart Cloud Farming, one of the co-founders. And what we do is we do advanced soil analytics using remote sensing. So how did it all start? So in 2015, I was visiting a cinema once, and it happened to be the International Soil Week. So before the film started, they showed us a small film about how the Earth was losing fertile soil at a huge rate every year, and how it's going to affect our lives, not just our food security, but our lives and the climate in general. So that was it in 2015. I moved on, then I came to Berlin, and in 2019, I met my co-founder, Michele from Italy. And he was working on the subject of soil. And we delved deeper into it. And I found an instant connection to it. And what really shocked me was this fact. We are losing ground, basically, literally said, at the rate of 300 billion US dollars per year, because we are losing so much of fertile soil. And this has a direct effect on the agricultural effectivity, and also on how much of carbon is released from the soil. And this means that our climate is not just going to get warmer, but our lives are also going to be very affected by it. So we decided we need to do something about it. We are extremely dedicated to it. And we thought that the way we are managing soils right now is actually a century old. We are just doing lab analysis, and we are carrying out very unprofessional methods of soil management. We wanted to change this, so we said we want to focus on data-driven soil analytics. And for that, since about 1 year, we have been working on it. We already have 20+ million useful data points for our soil analysis. And we have also raised about 350,000 euros in public funding and prize money since then, with which we are sustaining ourselves. So what's exactly the problem? So you see on the right-hand side, this is my co-founder Michele on a field in Italy collecting soil samples. So if you want to do soil management, this is how it is done today. You go to a field, you collect your soil samples, transport it to a lab, get it tested, and you have a result. But it is a result only for that specific point on a huge field. And if you have a huge field, a few hundred hectares, you have per hectare maybe 1 to 2 points of testing, and that is not sufficient because soil is extremely heterogeneous, and the quality of soil, characteristics of soil vary from one place to another very fast. And this makes the whole thing extremely unscalable. It is slow, it is labor intensive, and definitely if you're looking at precision farming, the data is not digital. We have a huge data gap. And our solution to this is Soil Eye 3D digital soil maps. What we are doing is we are taking remote sensing imagery, so images from satellites, images from hyperspectral cameras using drones. We are taking this data, processing it using deep learning algorithms, and we are creating 3D soil maps. So the 3D soil maps go below the surface instead of just being on the surface. So you know up to a depth of 90 centimeters how your soil moisture looks like, how your soil organic carbon looks like, and how your soil nutrient concentration and spread looks like. And for the users, that's the farmers or agricultural companies, the benefits are that they are fast, they're accurate, and they're not labor intensive. You can have an API integration. So we're actually working on something we say IFTTT for agriculture. So you have our soil moisture maps, and the soil moisture maps will provide the data to your irrigation equipment. And when the moisture levels go very down, your irrigation would automatically start. And then you have a continuously available soil data for your farms. Just a moment, yeah. So who are our customer segments? We are not targeting individual farmers because we realize that they are not really primary customers, but they would be an end beneficiary. We are targeting agribusinesses and large cooperatives for one, governmental agencies, both within the European Union and outside, fertilizer companies, because we can provide them with data for customized fertilizer solutions, and specialized soil NGOs, like NGOs that deal with soil matters. Our value proposition is actually very clear. Our primary value proposition is better economics because we can reduce the number of soil sensors that they're using, we can reduce the amount of manpower and the amount of money that they're spending on fertilizers, water, energy, and also prolong equipment life. Second thing is time savings. It's very surprising, but most farmers we have talked to, they have said primary cause of concern is the amount of time. We want something that reduces amount of time that we spend on our farms. And the third is naturally regulatory compliance. It would result in transparency on the one hand, and it would also simplify life for both farmers and also for the testing or regulatory authorities on the other hand. Our business model is information as a service and derivatives based on that. So the primary thing which we'd be offering are the 3D digital soil maps. Our initial idea was that we have an app for that, but now we have decided we would go for a dashboard which can be scalable. Using this data, you can have agricultural land evaluation. Then we are doing soil organic carbon monitoring. This we are currently doing together with Indigo Ag in the US, the world's most funded ag tech company. And then we would also be providing points data to fertilizer companies for customized fertilizer solutions. Our competition is both in the space of remote sensing, hardware-free, as also non-remote sensing hardware-based. And in the case of remote sensing, you see they are providing mainly surface maps, so those do not go subsurface, 2D maps. And in the case of sensor-based, they do provide a 3D data, but it is always a points data. It is not spatial data. And this is where we come in. We can provide spatial mapping with 90 centimeters depth of soil coverage. And as I already mentioned, we already have 20+ million points, and this is already always growing. And we would be offering remote soil monitoring, remote soil management. And this is the biggest benefit because you don't need to send out people onto the fields for that. This is our team, left to right, my co-founder Michele and myself. Then we have our lead agronomist in Italy, Dylan, two of our data scientists here in Berlin, and Dubravko in Serbia, who's our technical advisor and ambassador of the NVIDIA University. We are also working together with the University of Novi Sad as a technical partner, Fraunhofer IOSB in Karlsruhe, Indigo Ag, as I mentioned, and Gruppo Cup in Milano, with whom we would be having our first experiment in September this year. We are looking for funding for 2.5 million euros in seed funding. We are looking for partners in the area of remote sensing, so both satellite data, hyperspectral imaging. And we're looking for pilot projects. That could also be something in Sri Lanka, tea plantations. Yeah, so what we want to be is this. We want to be the Google Analytics of soil, map the world's soil, and provide the data to agricultural sectors and companies. If you want to visit us, you can scan any of the apps, QR codes. It's a bit too far, I think, but smart.farming.com, or you can just write to us on our website. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, and good to hear this project because as like with every startup here, I have connection also with you previously, and now I just want to offer something then, because I know the domain very well. There is a place in the northern part of Germany owned by German space agency called DEMIN. They have recreated complete Germany within 30 square kilometers space.
Okay.
They put 3 geostationary satellites. They're doing exactly the same thing. The problem here is you need a lot of ground reference. That means that if you say that if the soil is nutritious, you need to make sure that if it's really nutritious. Without having such huge space to test it, it will be very difficult to make your algorithm right. German space agency is doing, they have really recreated that small Germany 30 square kilometer, and then it's in Neustrelitz. They have the German all the algorithm, the satellite, and as you said that you need a partner for remote sensing as well as the piloting, whether if your algorithm works right or not, because the advantages is there. There's German satellites, so you get a direct link. You get like immediately all the data not through any other thing, and they also have all the sensor probes which are into the soil going like several meters down. So you could put your own sensors or something as a cross reference, ground reference for that. And there's a lot of people. I know several other companies doing this in Middle East and so on. But the crucial part of making this algorithm work is to have a right ground reference data. Yes. And that's what I can offer for remote sensing and the piloting, and yeah. Thank you.
Great.
Awesome advice. Thank you so much. And anyone else?
Yeah, a question. Who you will be selling it to? And can you also guide me a bit through pricing?
So the primary customers we are targeting are, for example, large agribusinesses. So like companies that own large plantations or estates, and large cooperatives. So that's the direct agricultural sector. They require it, as I said, for different kinds of soil management purposes. It could be soil nutrition. They want to know how to fertilize the soils properly or how to irrigate their soils. The other one is soil organic carbon monitoring. So that is something that is not necessarily linked to agriculture. It could be, but you could also have the carbon offset trading where you can use our technology to do validation of the actual offset, whether it has taken place or not. So you can use it on the one hand in the agricultural sector to monitor how soil fertility is increasing or decreasing, or just to keep an ongoing eye on that. And the other one would be the carbon offset. So the one project which we are doing with Indigo right now, it is based on the remote, it is to validate how good or accurate we are in determining this soil organic carbon content remotely. So we will be conducting this from September to end of October. And then we would decide whether we want to go towards the carbon offset trading, a validation market or not. So these are two big markets. And we also have interest from fertilizer companies like Carpus S, for example, because they would be very happy to have a constant data pipeline which they can use to, develop customized fertilizers for different soil types, different countries, for example. And with about 6% decline forecast for the fertilizer sector due to reduced intake or uptake, they are looking for new ways to actually either increase their earnings or keep it stable. So this is something that is definitely very attractive to them.
And how far are you in the product development?
So we are currently working on the soil moisture and the soil organic carbon algorithms. So both are very advanced, I would say. We can actually predict with the soil moisture algorithm to a level of the accuracy of 95 to 97% right now. And with soil organic carbon, it is between 80 and 92%, I think. And we would be starting our soil nutrient algorithm development later this year. So that is as far as, let's say, intelligence is concerned, and we will be starting with the front-end development also from September onwards.
But you do it already on the basis of like certain areas and access to the maps and.
So we have our soil database. So we have database from Australia, US, and also from different countries within the European Union. So we have that as a cross-reference. And we have the satellite data, which we take from the Sentinel and Landsat satellites. And with that, we are progressing.
Did you? Okay.
I know nothing about this space.
Well, we have a connection for you. So Matthias Schmidrex, he's the founder of Smart Hectare. Do you know him yet? You should.
I don't know him, but I know Smart Hectare.
Yes. We will introduce you. And thank you so much for your pitch. It's really great.
Thank you very much.
And our last, but for sweet, startup is Tadaos with Canostics.
Okay, I'll try to do my best. Yeah, there we go. Okay. No, thanks. Last but not least, thanks for the invitation. It's great to have this is my first offline meeting as well, and I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for Asia Berlin and the great team behind it. My name is Tadeusz, and I'm the founder and CEO as well as the medical lead of Canostics. at Cognostics, we are very simply trying to beat cancer, not by finding a miracle cure, but by just diagnosing it so early that it can be already cured today. Everyone knows that cancer is a really horrible disease, and I believe most of you will have been in touch with it, me included, on a personal level. And by most people in the society, it is still considered to be a death sentence. And this is because worldwide, every second person will get cancer in their lifetime, and every fourth death is related to it. This accumulates to more than 10 million deaths each year. But we can change this, because 50% of these deaths could be prevented, because they are solely due to a too late diagnosis. And here we see the 5-year survival for lung cancer by stage. And we focus on the left side of the screen. We can very clearly see that if this really aggressive cancer is caught early on in stage 1, the survival chance is actually 93%. The issue is that most people are only diagnosed in the later stages, when the survival rate really rapidly drops to 10% in stage 4, and the cure is almost impossible to accomplish. This is because cancer is a very insidious disease that presents symptoms in most cases only very late in its course, and that the healthcare system is currently absolutely lacking the tools to diagnose the disease early on. In fact, for more than 120 types of cancer, early detection screening methods are only available to 4 of them. And these methods cover roughly 1/3 of all cases, leaving us with no easy option for the other 2/3. So what can we do, and how will we change the outcome for the patient? We are developing a very convenient, affordable, and foremost accessible blood test that will be able to detect the most common cancers at unprecedented accuracy. So that one day, when you go to your GP for your routine checkup of heart, liver, and kidney function, you can just get tested for cancer straight away without any additional effort, neither for you nor for your doctor. And we're doing this by combining Raman spectroscopy, which is a very sensitive laser-based measurement technology, with machine learning algorithms. The hardware component of this test already exists, so our product is limited to a constantly growing software solution that converts this existing hardware into high throughput, fully automated cancer screening devices. That means for the test evaluation, finally, there's no medical specialist needed, which makes it accessible all over the world. So